Hey guys, today I'm gonna explain to you about the poem Shantytown. I'm gonna tell you the summary, era, background information, type of poem, and characteristics. Everything you need to know in order to know the poem. Summary, Shantytown. The poet describes life in Jabav, a very poor section of Soweto in Johannesburg. There are no trees or grass. The township has no electricity or roads. It is dry, dusty, and exceptionally cold during winter. The people of Jabavu have very little to protect them against illness and the freezing temperatures. Okay guys, before I continue, please don't forget to pick up some notes in order to memorize. The cold is overpowering. They only have thin blankets, rags, and old sacks to cover themselves to keep out the cold. There are three stanzas, clearly divided into three descriptions of the town. The first stanza talks about how isolated Jabavu is from the city. There are no trees or grass in Jabavu. It is not protected. It simply means that Jabavu is not protected. The second stanza goes into deeper detail about suffering the people experience during winter. They are freezing and sick. The last stanza takes us into the hopeful future of Jabavu that has been developed and cared for. It has become a place where healthy children play in beautiful parks. People live with dignity in proper houses with electricity. They are all safe and warm. The speaker paints a positive picture of what he wishes for the future of Jabavu. Well, the poem, it is not that difficult, guys. It is very easy, so it is not that difficult. So we are going to explain next. We are going to explain the era of the poem. It is difficult to say with certainty when this poem was written, as we do not know who the poet is. The poem was certainly written during apartheid South Africa, when townships had no electricity or roads. Many shacks had been built by people coming to Johannesburg looking for work. Now I'm going to explain the background information, which I think all of you guys know by now since you've read the poem. The poem is set in Jabavu Township in Johannesburg. Jabavu was a typical shanty town to the south of Johannesburg in the large area known as Soweto. Today, shanty towns are called informal settlements or squatter camps. South African shanty towns have always housed the poorest of the poor. People build makeshift homes out of the corrugated iron and whatever materials they can find. Jabavu, like most other black townships of the time, had no electricity or roads. The government built some very basic houses to start with, but during apartheid the township was deliberately ignored. The government spent most of its money on developing areas for white people. Over the years, many people moved into Jabavu and built shacks in open areas in people's yards. The area was barren, dusty, and unhealthy for children. The high-veiled winter in South Africa can be bitter cold at night. It is a season that has no rain, so the soil becomes very dry. Today, Jabavu is still not a wealthy part of Soweto, but it has electricity and mainly tarred roads. The majority of houses are simple, but they are solidly built with walls and yards. There are a number of schools that serve the area as well as clusters of shops and other services. Trees have been planted and there is a green open space called Jabavu Park. Now we're going to type of poem. This poem is a social commentary on extreme poverty. It raises the issue of children's health and freedom. It talks how neglected this area is in terms of basic services like electricity. It is concerned with the lack of green, safe spaces for children to play in. Characteristics of the poem. This poem is written in free verse. It is made up of 3 stanzas. There is no rhyme scheme, but the poet uses rhyme to support his message by linking certain words such as shacks and sacks. Well guys, I think these are all the things you need to know about the poem Shantytown. Well, there are some tricky questions that might come up on your examination, like a question, do you think Jabavu is a symbol? Those are some tricky questions, but as you know, you should know how to answer those questions. Like Jabavu is a symbol because it represents the physical hardship people suffered during the apartheid when people were settled in bare, outlying areas far from the towns and cities where they worked. Jabavu also represents the new society that would arise as a result. Some of these questions you should know how to answer them after knowing the summary of the poem, the Shantytown. So guys, don't forget to reread the poem and know everything, things like the tone of the poem, everything. Please guys, if the video was helpful, please share the video to other grade 11 learners in order for them to get to benefit from it. And please don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thank you.